Hey, this is Rhino, and you're listening to the Timo and Harley Show.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there is my partner in Mindcrime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben Herbal Blend Harley.
No, I'm not much of a herbal blend fella.
Yeah?
Timo.
You're more of a herbal blend? You're more of a herbal blend?
I'm more of a herbal.
Yes, well, that kind of goes in. We've, here on the Timo and Harley Show, we have a little health scare going on here.
Yes, we
don't want to say a whole lot. Last week, if we sounded a little odd, we kind of got hit with this.
Yeah.
The matriarch of our show, she's got a broken wing. Not a broken wing, but she's got a little health issue. We don't know all the answers yet. So we're not really going to say a whole lot. It's not great, but we're cautiously optimistic, Mr. Ben Harley, for a good turnout to this unfortunate health event that we're not very excited about. But one thing I can tell you is that me and my lovely wife, Angio, are 7 days smoke-free.
Good.
Yes.
God bless you, man.
Whoa. Hold on.
Well,
7 days tobacco smoke-free.
Yes, good. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a big difference, sir. Yes.
Right.
Good,
so we've been stressed out over here at the old house. And so if the last week's show and this week's show sound a little funny, we apologize. The show must go on, and it's kind of therapeutic for us. And why not? We need to get the show.
Yeah, we do.
It is therapeutic. I swear to you, it is. Just kind of having a good time and talking about movies and stuff like that. So we will,
and that's the main thing.
Yes,
that's the main thing.
Absolutely. So we will, we'll let everybody know as we know facts instead of conjecture right now. We don't have exact diagnoses yet and stuff like that. You can probably kind of imagine what we're talking about here, but we don't know exactly yet what we're talking about here. Except for the fact that we are 7 days and smoke free. And here's the thing, not going to be a smoking Nazi. So don't worry about it. Okay. My uncle Boyce came over the other day to grab a lawnmower I gave him, and he had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and it had been about 4 days or so. Let's say, I to be honest with you, when you have a health scare like this, at least for me, I didn't want one. I almost forgot. I mean, we do have e-cigs and stuff, so we're still vaping and things, but the actual cigarette we haven't. But boy, let me tell you something. He came over with that cigarette hanging out of his mouth. I wanted to hang out with him all day.
He does look cool.
I was like,
smoking is cool.
Smelling like, give me some of that. Yes. But anyway, so
good for you guys, Timo. That's a struggle. I went through it. Actually, and Timo and Angie both got me from smoking cigarettes.
We sure did. It's amazing we got all of our friends who have no willpower whatsoever to quit smoking, and it took a giant health scare for us to quit.
Well, I wasn't a giant smoker in the first place, but you guys gave me the vape pen years ago, and it's been ever since. And I've probably, I really haven't smoked. Very, very rare.
Right.
And it's a testament. Thanks to you guys.
Well, we haven't, and this is the same thing with us too. It's like, it's not like we were anti-smoking Nazis. We swore it off. It's not that. I even said, I haven't smoked my last cigarette. I think I bought my last cigarette.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like a cigarette's not going to kill you. Okay. 6 packs a day will probably kill you somehow. I mean, it's not even cancer or something like that.
For some reason,
will kill you. Yes. I mean, if nothing else,
your mate might stab you in the face. You never know.
You might just choke yourself to death at that point.
6 packs is a lot of smoking. Yes. Sir.
Right. But yes, so very, very.
And not that you guys smoke 6 packs a day.
No. I smoked about a half pack a day.
Yeah.
On a normal day. If we had a convention day, it might be a pack or something like that. I mean, I was a moderate smoker. Angie O was a lighter smoker, way lighter smoker than me. So, and unfortunately, she's got the health scare. But that's the first thing we did was like, look, let's clean up our act. And at least get that out of the equation, and we changed our diets a little bit and stuff like that. I am also announcing this too. I am canceling personally, Ultraman has a couple shows coming up. I'd like to thank Mr. Andrew Brandmeier, who's going to fill in for me for a couple shows for a couple months while I get things figured out and taken care of on our end.
Yes.
Fragile Porcelain Mice, I think I am today, actually, as we record this. I'm probably going to have to cancel just one gig, which I'm looking forward to in Bloomington, Illinois with Annihilate. It's the timing is horrid for it, at this point, and we haven't had really a chance to practice or anything. So I'm going to have to probably cancel that. And people listening, I do apologize. This is very important. I can't focus in on a gig right now. To do this. Now we also, I wanted to mention as well, Retro Invasion Weekend is coming up outside of Cleveland.
Yes.
The end of May, beginning of June. We are still at this point geared to go to that. That's going to be our first thing that we're going to try to do. We're going to have to play that one by ear a little bit, but since it's not a lot of work or a performance to be done, it's a matter of, can we travel? Is traveling at that moment going to be okay? We sure hope so, because we got our pal, Mr. Senior Ben Harley. We have we have even Jerry Synapse. We have DVD
Daniel
Bob.
Hicks.
We have Danny Hicks. Bob Kurtzman. We got Joe. Old school cinema Joe, our old pal. He's putting the show on. So there's a lot of people we want to see. We want to hang out with. So we're gonna do our best. Going to do our best, Mr. Ben Harley. But I want everyone listening, either way, to do their best to be there, because I know Danny Hicks will be there. Bob Slendorini. Bob Slendorn will be there. DVD Bob. Mr. Ben Harley as the potentate of hate.
Yeah.
Will be stalking the hallways at night with maybe a Schlitz under his arm. You never know.
Yeah, with a couple clowns.
Right. So we want everybody to get to that. I'm trying to get Joe on the show, but I think he's got a new job. Believe it or not, booking guests. Joe, you can't jump in head first into a conflict of interest, my friend. You just got a show going. Come on now. But anyway, so... we talked about having him on the show, but he wants to do it, but man, he's been busy, so I understand that.
Yeah, sure. Hey, he's a shaker and a mover right now.
Oh, absolutely. So go to that. I tell you what, though, good therapy. Just want to throw this out there for anybody having any issues or, a health scare.
Yeah.
Any kind of stress. We have been watching the Mystery Science Theater 3000 channel on Pluto TV.
Greatest channel ever invented.
Yeah. So there's on Pluto TV, there's a Mystery Science Theater 3000 and Riff Tracks channel right on top of each other. Just live. Yeah. Just watch them. Yep. All the time. Mm-hmm. So, all
the time. It's 247.
It's so good, Mr. Ben Harley. It makes me think nasty thoughts. It's that good that I really like it. But let me tell you, it's very therapeutic. Very therapeutic.
It is.
Unfortunately, Harley and I were talking about this off air. The Shout Factory TV, the app is on the fritz.
It's gone screwy on us.
It has gone screwy. It's on the fritz. I did look it up, but this is an international thing. It's not just happening in Ohio or in Illinois, the St. Louis area. It's on the fritz. We're upset about it, but that's why Pluto TV says, well, come on over here. We'll take care of you.
Lure us.
Yeah.
And sweet smell of Pluto has been wafting through the house. Yeah, huh?
And Tubi TV, which is getting some steam going too. It's a good deal too.
Yeah,
it's free.
I'll look into that a little bit more too. I think I looked at it do it once when I think I added it when I first got it or here recent or a little bit ago. I'm not sure.
I did see a Mystery Science Theater, like a series of shorts they had on them. So they have some Mystery Science and things like that. I haven't really had a chance to explore it a whole lot. Like I said, been a little crazy around here.
A little bit. But you've had some stuff to think about. So,
right. Yeah. Ben Harley, so the Mystery Science Theater is talking about trying to make you feel good, saying kind of therapeutic. I got something else that's therapy.
What's that?
Because I watched this in a dark period. In my very, very deep, nothing's going to make me happy, okay?
Yeah.
So I sit down and try to relax. What do you do? We're programmed at our age to watch television, right? We're programmed to sit down and try to relax with something on TV. Now, it's not hard for us to find something we enjoy. But that feeling you get when you're super stressed, you can't relax enough to get into anything. Yeah. All you do is put something on TV and you stare off to the side and you start thinking about shit, right? So it just drives you nuts. So I'm thinking, I'm going through Amazon Prime. Everything, Mr. Ben Harley, from black and white movies to documentaries, this, and I'm going, nope. Yeah. So I got about 50 movies in my 500 to 600 movie queue or watch list. I get in there about 50 movies in or something, and I see the documentary Poop Talk.
Poop Talk?
Tim O said, yes,
This'll make me happy.
This is a documentary about a bunch of basically comedians and a couple of like therapists and stuff like that discussing poop and how poop is taboo to talk about. And so basically what it devolves into all of these comedians busting themselves out, telling their funniest poop stories. So they're opening up because we all do it. We all stink. It all does it. So of course,
don't like poop, but yeah.
Well, that's what they're saying. Like, why do we not? None of us like it. Okay, it smells bad. It's excrement. You want it out of you. You know. So there's all this stuff. But there's a couple of. Okay, it's worth watching. Again, it's on Amazon Prime. It's called Poop Talk. Now, let me give you a couple examples.
Dr. Poop Star in this one.
Hold on now. Just hold on a second. So, I don't know if you've seen the comedians. They're two twins. Usually twins are two people, but so it's a pair of twins, these two guys, and they're probably like their mid 30s, maybe early 40s guys. I see them a lot on the NFL Network, like on the top 10 lists and stuff. They have some comic bits, you know, like to the show or something like that. Well, apparently they were in LAX one time, and they saw King Kong Bundy.
Okay.
And they just wanted to meet King Kong Bundy. They want to do this. Well, they went to the bathroom because that's where he went.
Oh God. Yeah.
The way to hear them describe the event that happened in the bathroom with King Kong Bundy, you just have to see the show. And God rest his soul. He just passed away real recently, so it made me think about this, you know. So there's two stories I want to tell now. And I'm going to tell these stories, and one of them's kind of not PC, but it was told from the person. So I'm going to tell it the way he told it. And then I want you people all to go, especially when you're feeling down, go watch Poop Talk. Poop Talk, okay? So there is a little person comedian, okay? Now, I am 46 years old. I am going to say midget. It's not derogatory. I feel uncomfortable calling a man a little person. Yeah. A midget to me doesn't mean anything but what he is. It's like Down syndrome. I don't care. I don't want to call him a dwarf because I don't know if he played Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know these things. Okay. So I'm not being, this is my comfort zone.
An angry little elf.
Right. Oh, geez, see, there you go. See,
hey, now you got me devolved.
Right. So no, I know we're kidding. So this is this. So when I say that, this is what I mean. It makes me feel comfortable that I'm trying not to be. I don't care. The guy didn't say, I think I'll be 2 feet tall. I think that's how I'm going to grow up. This is what happened to him. So he is in a bathroom, a public bathroom. He's pooping.
At the airport.
I don't know where he was. It might have been.
Oh, the dwarf. Okay.
So he says, the problem that I have is that when I sit to poop, my feet don't dangle low enough to see under the stall. So nobody knows I'm there, right? And I'm not trying to make noise or something like that. So I'm sitting in a stall. And he says, and there's a guy who comes in next to me, okay? And I'm real quiet because I don't think he knows I'm there. At first, I was afraid he's going to open up the door on me, but I had a lock, so I wasn't too worried about that. So he does his thing, all right? And it makes me uncomfortable because I'm sitting there doing my thing, too. And I know he doesn't know I'm there, so he's making all kinds of noises and doing stuff because he knows I'm there. So he gets up, he does his thing, he wipes, he washes his hand, and as he's leaving the public bathroom, he turns off the light. That's annoying. So the guy is like, what do I do now? There's no like manual for this. I have no idea what to happen. And so he's sitting there going, panicking, going, what do I do? What do I do? So he gets a text from a friend and he thinks, my phone, I'll be able to see my phone. Yeah. So he says he gets on his phone. He needs to turn the light back on because he has no idea what's going on. Okay, he can't use one hand. He is a midget. It's harder for him to do things. So and I know you can kind of see what he does here. So he has to get up without pulling his pants up, right? Because he hasn't cleansed himself, right? So he does that A-frame thing, trying to keep his pants up, right? Okay. Right. So there's a midget, right, who's coming out of a bathroom stall with a phone in his hand, as if he's saluting Hitler. Basically, and he's got the A-frame thing naked, okay? As soon as he turns the light on, the door swings open, and there's a guy who looks down at him. And he looks up at the guy, and the guy is in horror looking down at him. And he says, so the midget guy says, I am thinking this guy just opened up a door, and there's a naked midget about ready to take a picture of him, apparently, with his phone, looking him straight in the eye. So what does the midget do? Happy birthday to you. And the guy screamed and ran. So the little guy goes, the whole point of this is I just want to know the story he told his friends.
Yeah.
When he walked into a public bathroom, there was a naked midget trying to take a picture. He goes, you don't wake up and expect that. It just there's no way to prepare yourself for this. Yeah. And this is him telling the story, you know? So that was funny. But the be all end all was Nick Swarsden. Yeah. You know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for anybody who doesn't know, I always explain to him, if you've seen Grandma's Boy, he's the guy with the car bed. Okay. So that's Nick Swarsden.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
awesome.
He goes over to a friend's house. They're going to go out somewhere, and his friend goes in to take a shower. So and so it's an apartment, so it's one bathroom. Sure. Okay, so while this is occurring, Nick has a stomach attack. He's got to go. He's got to go. So he's like knocking on the door, and he's going, "Hey, I got to go." And he's like, "I'm in the shower. You can't wait for 10 minutes." He's like, "Oh, yeah." You know, so he goes to the guy's kitchen, doesn't know what to do. It's an emergency. He's like breaking out in sweats. Nick Swarsden breaking out in sweats, doesn't know what to do. Looks over and sees a trash can. Okay. No. Well, he's got to do something, you know. So he pulls down his pants and he tries and he can't. I guess he's all nervous and uptight. Can't do it. You know, he's like, God damn it, you know. So he pushes the trash can away, stands up, and as soon as he stands up, he loses it. Okay, all over his buddy's kitchen floor. So he gets down. He's like, "What do I do? He starts taking paper, and it's all over the place. It's bad. It's bad, you know. And so he doesn't want to do. So he gets down. He takes a paper towel. He does everything he do. He starts trying to clean up. Well, in the meantime, his friend has a brand new 1-year-old puppy. Oh God, no! The dog starts barking at him while he's doing this. You know, and you hear the guy in the bathroom going, "You okay out there? Yeah, I'm playing with your dog. Yeah, you know, and stuff." And so then the dog starts to eat it. No. Well, he's trying to do whatever he can do. He's trying to get the dog out of the way. He's trying to do this. He's trying not to get busted on this. How do I not get busted here? What do I do? What do I do? You know. So then all of a sudden the door opens up. The guy comes out of the shower with a towel or whatever, you know, like to go get dressed up. He goes, "All right, you can use it." And he makes a beeline to the bathroom and closes the door real quick and sits down. Quiet. It's all quiet. Yeah. And he says he hears his friend go, "Hey, Nick." Yeah. The fuck did you shit in my kitchen, my floor? He goes, "No." You did? He goes, "No, that was your dog." He says, "Oh, well, it seems like a whole lot of shit for a 1-year-old puppy." So I was just asking. He goes, "Yeah, it sure does." Okay. He goes, "All right." "Hey, Nick." "Yeah." "Why is there a line of shit going from the kitchen to the bathroom?" "Oh, man." "Oh, I must have stepped in it." "Oh, okay." Guy starts yelling at his dog. Really? We're doing, he got out of it. He did get out of it. It was another comedian's house he was at, too. You know? Oh, my God. Well, I got a poop story, Tim. I'll keep it real. Go ahead. Why not? Why not? Right? Well, it just reminded me of the midget one. Now, many years ago, I didn't get a picture by a midget in the bathroom or nothing. But, we had that giant power outage that went like halfway across the country or something. Went from like Chicago to New York. Right. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I went to get my hair cut, and I used to get it cut down at the Southwick Mall. There was a place upstairs, so I went there, and I thought, man, I really gotta go to the bathroom, you know. And so I just couldn't wait, you know. So my appointment was getting ready to start. So I go into the bathroom, and you know, I'm doing my business, and the next thing you know, all the lights go off. Mm-hmm. All the lights, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? But I said, there's an apocalypse going on or what? But so during the great power outage, I was in the toilet at Southwick Mall upstairs in the beauty salon. Right. But it was just one of those things. Same thing, like, you know, like, oh man, I got caught. My one buddy got caught in an elevator at the time. He had an awful time, man. But I was like, well, I guess it wasn't that bad. But as soon as you said about the midget, they turned the lights off, they'd all come rushing back to me. So, but luckily I was the only guy in there, and I was able to get out without my pants down around my ankles. Right. So that was a good day. But it's a funny show because I mean, there's like comedians who are on the show saying like, you know, people aren't going to watch this because of what it's about. And the one comedian says, I'm not going to watch this. I've never talked about this before. And people talk about how they went through awkward situations, like, and look, we've all been here. Like, they talk about the stories, like when you have like a new girlfriend or boyfriend.
Oh my goodness!
You can hold it for a week, with them people around and stuff like that. The two twin guys that saw Bundy go into the airport, like they went to a summer camp. One of them didn't go for 11 days.
Oh
and
God!
They said, man, when we were playing baseball, neither one of us slid. We couldn't slide because if we did, it'd be a mess, or whatever. Exactly. But anyway, very therapeutic. It was very funny. Just throw it on. I know it doesn't sound like really good, but just throw it on. You start laughing because it's just funny. It's not real super serious, right? Like that. Honestly, with everything we got going on, Mr. Benhart, besides that, I got two quick things real quick.
Sure.
Here we watched. We did through the fog, through the haze, Mr. Benhart. Yeah. We did try to keep going on our Hammer Dracula freak out. Yeah. So we went to the 1966 Dracula Prince of Darkness.
Wow, okay.
Which reintroduces Christopher Lee, but they do not have a Peter Cushing as Van Helsing in this. It's Andrew Keir as like a monk or something who's after Dracula. But pretty good. I mean, it's good. So it doesn't have Cushing. That's a strike against it. It does need more Christopher Lee and even more Andrew Keir. It needs both of them more because it kind of follows like these two couples who, they get lost up in the castle and stuff. And it just needs more Dracula and more Van Helsing-esque character, the monk guy, I think, in this one. But not too bad. Like I said, I think the next one, which is, God, I can't remember exactly. I think the next one might be my favorite one, but we're going to find out. So from 1966, again, Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Still a good fun. Yeah, still a good fun Hammer movie. Christopher Lee is really spooky in this one because I don't think he talks or nothing. This is when he just growls and runs around and his eyes are bloody and shit,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's he looks so menacing.
God, yeah. Let's see. Last up, Mr. Ben Harley. A new Blu-ray for me. I am a Val Lewton freak. I love Val Lewton movies, produced films, and this is the Val Lewton produced, Robert Wise directed film, The Body Snatcher, with Boris Karloff as the Body Snatcher guy. So this is like a broken hair. I think we reviewed this movie. I'm pretty sure we did.
We might have.
Yeah, well, it's the one where Boris Karloff is basically a grave snatcher, and he's selling bodies to a doctor that he has history with. And he calls him Tardy all the time. And they have like these mental spar-offs in the whole film. It's basically a Burke and Hare story. Anyway, this probably was Karloff's best performance, which is very cool. But Bela Lugosi's got a small role in it. He's great in it too. It's one of my favorite Val Lewton movies. It's fantastic. It's just it's one of those movies. It's very creepy and dark, and you never know what's going to happen. And it's suggestive. Everything is. I mean, Robert Wise directed The Haunting. So all this Val Lewton suggesting things in the shadows and stuff, it's thick as molasses in this movie and stuff. So just excellent. Again, the Body Snatcher. I believe
The Body Snatcher.
Yeah, you know what? I can't remember what year. I think it was 45. I'm pretty sure it was made in 45. Pretty sure. So I don't have it written down. Been a little distracted. So, but anyway, I think it was 45. But anyway, that's all I got. Really, honestly, I just wanted to talk a little poop talk. That was my main thing was poop talk. So anyway, what you got, Mr. Ben? Did you watch anything at all? Or
well, I guess we'll stick in around 45. Yes, we did. Wendy and I finished watching Band of Brothers. Oh, okay. Which I'm surprised she did enjoy it. And I told her, I said, well, Timo kind of helped you out a little bit too. I said, with the whole, everybody looks the same.
I couldn't tell anybody apart. Yeah.
I know. I said, so he felt for you on that. But I think there was like 3 more that we watched after last week. But yeah, I did enjoy going back and watching it again. It lost a little bit for me, I guess, only because there's been a lot of war films and other things since then.
Right.
So
it was intense when it came out, but that was almost 20 years ago. It's almost 20 years ago, isn't it?
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
And but just really good, just well done. You like the characters and just good stuff. So did finish that.
Nice.
Let's see what else here. Timo watched a movie. We've been watching a show. It's called Evil Lives Here.
Okay.
And usually it's from the point of view of someone who survived living with someone who's evil, right, Timo?
Right.
So hence the name Evil Lives Here.
Right, gotcha. Yep.
So, yeah.
Yes, makes sense. I am following the cut of your jib. Yes.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Yeah. I'm trying to make it simple.
Right.
But yeah, Timo, these are pretty good shows, actually. Now, there was one interesting one that revolved around John Wayne Gacy's sister.
Ooh.
And it was from her point of view of, and which was at first I was like, this is pretty okay, but it ended up being quite interesting, like a lot of it's, it starts out like, they started out so good, but there were signs, and then those, like revert back to either when this person was a child or stuff like that, or things that happen that basically just amps up the evil or might show you, hey, something might be off with this person.
Right. Yeah.
But we watched the one last night.
He's dressing up like a clown and it might be something wrong with him. Yes.
The house smells a little, it's always got this smell to it.
Yeah.
But that's what it was though, too. Like when he bought that house, like, they would go over there and he would always be like, oh, there's something wrong with this, place. Like there was something, he always,
right,
blamed it on something,
sure,
besides the dead bodies, right? Why
it's a sewer backing up, right? Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
it's got too many dead bodies in it.
Right? Yeah, right, exactly, right.
They just won't go down the sewers,
right? I can't flush them.
I've tried chopping them up.
Right.
I've dressed like a clown and tried chopping them up.
Murray told me he was septic safe before I did that to him. Now he lied to me, darn it.
Yeah, I can only get so many buckets of lime in here.
Yeah, right.
Pretty interesting stuff. It's real quick, Timo, before I get too salty. So, we got the new Godzilla movie coming out this month.
Yeah, I hear about that.
Very excited about that. Well, of course, there's a lot of computer generated stuff. But I'm still very excited, Timo. I know they're gearing up for the Godzilla King Kong. Mm-hmm. But I think that's going to be like 2020. So they're going to rush that one out pretty quick too, I think, which is okay. I'm cool with it. Right. And until the ending, we'll see. Now, Tim, I'm going to give you my, if Mothra beats up Godzilla, right? I might be never watch a movie ever again in my life. I think I'm going to quit. I'm not even going to watch television anymore.
I did watch Mothra. I did send you. I forgot to mention that. I did send you the. I was just checking out Tubi. Yeah, it was on Tubi. Yeah, that's such a little song, the little fetish twin song. Yes.
Yeah, little midgets.
Yeah, we don't need a moth beating up a lizard, but I do agree with you on that one. Yeah,
I think that's what's going to end up happening. You're going to end up having Rodan, Mothra, Godzilla fighting Ghidra that's going to end up what's going to end up happening. Like all of them will cause somewhat of some destruction, but there's a little girl in there. I think I don't know what the thing is with the moth and the little people and stuff. But anyways,
well, they always got to have the weird.
Yeah, so there's some kind of telepathic old something going on. I don't know.
Fun.
But I tell you, from what I see, it looks good. I'm just really happy to see Ghidra. That's for me, and I love Godzilla. That's my man. That's my favorite actor, right?
Right.
So, but I mean, I can't wait. I really can't wait for that. That just, I'm super excited. So that'll be fun. Super fun. So yeah, Timo, we talked a little bit off air about this. I was fortunate enough here lately to do some work for the Shawnee Indian.
Yes.
Yeah, here in Ohio. Now, the Ohio Valley, Timo, used to be, there was a lot of Native Americans.
Now, Harley, I just want to confirm a few things.
Yes.
All right. Now,
yes.
When the young lady came in for your business, please tell me you did not go, how?
I did say how.
You did? Okay. All right.
No, I did.
You didn't ask her, is she getting her feathers washed? Did you?
No.
All right. I'm just making sure.
She did not call me pale face either.
All right. Yeah. I just want to make sure that nothing stereotypical happened at all. Okay. Just making sure. But something did. Timo, something did. Go ahead.
Well,
all right. Yeah.
Sorta.
Oh boy, here we go.
I've been very, very nice, and I've been very respectful, and nowadays you kind of, it's like you just, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings or overstep my boundaries either. But we did a lot of nice things I recreated, for they're going to be doing some powwows though, Tim. Well, they really are. They're looking
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
those are real things. I know.
So she wanted to make some shirts, for the Shawnee tribe. And it's kind of like the Piqua type area. It's the Ohio Valley.
Sure. Right.
Excuse me. So we did a sign that's a dedicated sign here in Ohio for the Shawnee tribe reservation. We're doing a shirt of that. We're doing one of actually their flag. Okay. So, some really nice things. And
you're doing a nice Shawnee t-shirt.
Yes.
Yes.
A couple things for them.
A Shawnee Pride t-shirt, basically, is what you're doing. Very nice. Very nice. Good.
Yeah. So, but I just, me, Tim, I couldn't help myself. And I said,
just tell me. Okay.
No.
All right.
I said to you. And I asked her, I said, now, I don't want to overstep my bounds or, I mean, no disrespect by this next question.
Right.
And she's a very nice lady. She's probably my age or our age, maybe a little older, but I'd say right our age. And I said, do you believe in Sasquatch and Bigfoot?
Oh no.
And she didn't do a war dance or hit me with a tomahawk or anything, Tim. No, she said yes, like with no hesitation whatsoever.
What do you know, huh?
She said yes.
What do you know?
And I said, here's my thing. I said, I've always been fascinated by the subject. Still am, I said, I talked about our show and what we do. We, go to the conference and stuff. And I said, but one of the sticking points for me is believing in the Bigfoot lore or believing in Bigfoot period. A lot of it, I said, stems from the Native American cave paintings. And she said, yeah. I said, because, and I, how I did, I laid it out, the whole thing, how I say, how can you have all these things that are represented in the forest?
Right.
They do.
Fair question. Yeah.
And there's a giant hairy man, but everything else is fake, or everything else is real, but that thing's fake right there. What do you but no, she was really good. We didn't get too in depth into it, but she said, no, that they, are believers. And then also she said, well, there's some in Ohio, right? I said, well, that's what we've heard. And she said, oh yeah. And she's named, in Southern Ohio, some places where, and I want to talk to her a little bit more about it, and I've actually, that was like the first or second time she was here. So I felt bad, and since I've done some work for her, she's actually sat here while I've done the art and I've done some shirts and she's ordered some more. And so we're friends now, right? We're pals, right? So now I feel a little bit more comfortable about talking about it with her. Because I told her, I said, well, as you can see, if you look around, there's Bigfoot everywhere you see it around in this place. There's a Bigfoot something or Yeti or something. And I told her, I said, I mean no disrespect. And she didn't take it none at all. You know what I mean? None whatsoever. So, yeah, I will keep you updated.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, it was fun, like I said, I was like, oh, here we go. And I don't put myself out on a limb.
I'm waiting. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, I never did that. Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, yeah. And I put myself out
on
a limb.
You want to go to the squad dance? I don't do it,
Me pale face.
I know. I'm just
you engine me pale face.
No,
did not. That was very, very nice. And so, but yes, I will get back with you though. Cause I'm interested, and we talked about, because there's a lot of Indian mounds in Ohio and stuff.
I saw some around here. We got Cahokia too, man. That's a huge thing around here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's some other things that she was telling me about. So I might try to, and I'd like to ask, hey, and even see, she might have some more insight on some stuff for me to look into, or some places to go and look.
Sure.
So, yeah. So I didn't ask her about no peyote, Timon. I didn't. So I'm just joking, man. I said, yes, Sitting Bull, Buddha, what's his name?
All right. She didn't call you One-Eyed Jack or anything, did she? Just want to make sure. I want to make sure. So, all right, let's get to our official little films, Mr. Ben Harley, for this week.
All right, let's do that, buddy.
Yeah, let's go in chronological order. Oldest one first.
Yes.
So first up from 1944. Yes, we have the film The Monster Maker.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So
Yes,
let me get
sir.
you a movie guy and get you a short storyline here. Little synopsis. There we go.
Okay.
A mad scientist injects his enemies with an acromegaly virus, causing them to become hideously deformed.
That's pretty much it.
It sure is.
He talk about a dick. This guy.
Okay, so J. Carroll Naish, he's a B guy. He's trying to, when me and Angie ever watched this, I was trying to get her to any role. I always remember him. It's unfortunate was it Dracula versus Frankenstein, the really bad, 1972, or that was his last movie. He was in a wheelchair, basically playing Dr. Frankenstein. Okay. But the one, he's the hunchback, and I think it might be House of Dracula or House of Frankenstein, where Boris Karloff plays a doctor in it, where Boris Karloff plays the mad scientist. Doesn't play the monster in it, okay? And J. Carroll Naish plays his hunchbacked assistant, of course, who is in love with the gypsy girl.
Oh, so gypsy girls, I am too.
I'm not bitching about his taste or anything like that. You know? So he's a nutty scientist in this one, and because it's good for people. He wants to inject people with the acromegaly.
And Timo, not to step on you, but what do all good mad scientists from this time period have in their little laboratory?
A guy in a gorilla suit.
Yeah, well, a guy in a gorilla suit? What, a suit? What?
Wait. Yeah, for no damn reason. But yes, he has to have a gorilla. There has to be a gorilla or a devil monkey of some sort.
See, we are definitely on a gorilla in a cage freak out with these mad scientists.
Not arguing with you there. Not arguing with you there at all. So basically, yes, and his main nemesis, nemesis, the guy that he wants to shoot up with the acromegaly, is Ralph Morgan,
I liked him in this.
Well, his brother Frank played the Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah, because he looked so familiar, man.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
this is from the Morgan family. Yes, so this is the Ralph flavor of the Morgan family. This is the Ralph. Now Frank was the wizard, but yes, so. Yeah. So J. Carroll Naish is doing this, and then kind of out of nowhere, Glenn Strange comes in as his not hunchback. He's just his butler, his big brutish butler, basically.
And when the credits came up, they just had him under Giant. It wasn't like what? Like not Butler, Giant Butler.
The people doing the credits had to make a call in a pinch right there.
I was like, wait, man, he was much more. I don't know.
Yeah,
he didn't have a big club or nothing.
No,
just joking.
Still Glenn Strange. Still Glenn Strange though.
He was Giant. Though.
He's a big fella. He's a bigger fella. Yeah. And the movie was directed by Sam Newfield. Who did the Lost Continent, Dead Men Walk, The Mad Monster, and one of our favorites, The Flying Serpent.
Yeah.
So we got Sam Newfield here, who's responsible for this masterpiece, as you will. Now, Harley, here's something exciting for you. I don't think I've seen this.
You haven't really?
I don't think so.
No, I haven't either.
What'd you think?
And I actually kind of liked it, buddy. Believe it or not, it when it first started, and it didn't have too many credits, so it didn't put me to sleep right off the bat.
Right.
But the first couple minutes, I was like, "How old is this movie?" It looked like I was like, "Is this the first movie ever?" Because it looked old. I don't know why. It did.
It's a Poverty Row movie, so it hasn't been kept well, and it's you're looking at basically public domain ish type things right now. But it needs a facelift. It looks older than it is because of time and wear on the prints. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, but that's okay. I mean, it starts out with him playing piano. Our main character, our main the
Morgan,
wizard's brother.
Ralph Morgan. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Ralph Oz.
Yeah.
He, it starts out with him doing like a recital at this real fancy place.
He's a pianist.
Pianist. Yes. And you really don't know it at first, but it's his daughter and her, is it fiance or boyfriend, whatever, are up watching the show. And then you got old Sir Creepo, that mad scientist. He's not staring at her, he's like luring at her,
right.
kind of. And he's got a hot dish next to him, and you kind of think, so it kind of, that for me was like, something interesting's going on
right.
here, and she actually gets a little afraid and moves seats away from the creepy doctor.
Yeah, she feels him oogling her. She don't like it. Yep.
No, and I didn't either. I thought it was,
right.
I want to take off my white glove and slap him in the face.
Take your jacket off and say, let's take this outside.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Ladies, Mr. Ben Harley.
Exactly. I demand satisfaction. No.
Maybe that's what he was demanding too with his leer.
I think he was. Yeah. Oh, he was looking for some satisfaction.
Yeah.
So, that was okay. Kind of, it drew
he's
me
after. Look, he's after, and the dad standing in the way. So he's got. So what else do you do? What else do you do? You shoot him up with the Rondo Hatton virus, right?
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is like, because when they're at the show, they go backstage. You figure out, okay, that's his daughter, the pianist's daughter,
right?
And she was round too. She was pretty. She was a dame, from back then. She was really pretty,
right? So
then, like. She's telling him about the doctor being creepy, and then all of a sudden the doctor shows up and it's even more creepy. And so for me, from that point on, I was like, even, especially having daughters, I was like, wow, this is, and it's funny though, because her dad's like, who cares, kind of, he's all right, but he's sending flowers all day long and all this crazy stuff. But for me, that little bit at the beginning kind of drew me into the film a little more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so like you said,
it put an air of gloom over the whole situation, because no matter who was being nice to each other, you could not get that out of your head. You knew something was off. Yeah. And
he still was like really nice. Like nothing was, even though he was being a creep, he still seemed like it was okay that I'm doing these things. No, not really. So yeah, the father goes over to demand, Timo, some satisfaction from the creepy scientist, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So he tells him that his advances aren't warranted.
Right.
And he goes
tells
to
him, leave my daughter alone.
Yeah, and he gets smacked in the head with a candlestick or some kind of something. But from that point on, this movie for me, it's topsy-turvy, which I think is okay. But I'm almost yelling at this thing like, somebody do something, because I'm like, what's kind of going on, but everybody's a little bit still like, I don't know, they're so reserved at this.
They're all playing coy with each other.
Yes. Yeah. And it kind of drove me crazy. And I don't know if that was supposed to, but that was okay. It did not make me not enjoy what was going on, I guess.
Right.
So,
it becomes frustrating because you're like, can't you see? But isn't that what a suspense film is? Isn't it? Yeah.
So I don't know, Tim, I mean, it's been out since what, 45?
44, yeah.
So I don't know if you want to give away the plot.
Well, I mean, that really is a plot. It's a guy. He uses acromegaly, which is really strange because it also implies, which it was something with me is that it's the only problem I have with this movie. Really, first of all, the makeup is really fucking cool. It's really cool. Like
it looks like John Merrick.
Well, he does, but I was thinking it looked like Nightbreed. It sort of had that feel to it. This is 1944. Okay, and it's looking like this. But the problem is, if it had a better ending, a more horror ending, instead of a cop-out ending, because the problem with having a serum that gives you acromegaly is that you, in turn, have a serum that cures you of it.
Yeah,
and the route by which the movie goes, because he does have an attractive assistant as well, who just out of nowhere decides to be that's why you were in this movie.
Yeah,
in a way, it's like, because the doctor's secrets.
Like her.
Yeah, well, it's like the doctor's secrets, blah blah blah, this and that. So there's a couple of characters of convenience.
Yes,
when they wrote themselves into a point where they didn't know how to get out of it. in a way in the story. And the ending is a cop out in that it all wraps itself up in a nice little bow. And this is not the kind of movie that should do that, I don't think.
No, this is like a suspense film that it could have had if it could have had a little more horror in it.
Yeah.
Because they actually used the giant gorilla at one point, but which actually I was glad it didn't work. That was kind of funny how it, because I hate the doctor in this is so smarmy without being like, snidely whiplash type stuff. But he's smarmy enough to where you're like, oh, that guy just sucks, man. He needs a good shock in the nose first off, but the story's pretty good because he basically he infects the father so that to get to the daughter because she doesn't want his advances. She infect the father so that the only way the father can get cured is make his daughter get married to him.
It's an old,
and then he'll give him,
almost Shakespearean story where he's in love with the daughter. And really the dad didn't care. It's the fact that the girl doesn't want it. That's the twist of it. That she doesn't want the advances from J. Carroll Naish, so she tells her dad, she's like, and the dad, look, if my brother's a Wizard of Oz, I mean, he'll fuck your shit up, man. And so
I'll drop my house on you.
So that really is the plot. Both movies this week have an unfocused thing where who is the monster, who is the antagonist and the protagonist, who is this and who is that, and they're both a little unfocused in their shifts of fright or suspense, but it almost enhances both of the films in a way. Keeps you on your toes and off balance as to there's not one killer, let's put it that way. There's not one thing. There's numbers of things that are happening, and both these movies ironically this week kind of have that going on. You got the gorilla, you got the guy with acromegaly, you've got the doctor who's the real monster of the movie. You've got, weird peering looks.
I actually liked his assistant because she kind of knew what he was doing, and she called him out on a couple things because he stole the knowledge from another guy. He killed the other doctor, and basically to get out of Europe, or was it? I think he basically assumed that guy's identity, which I thought was made him even more smarmy.
Right.
To me, I was like, I don't know. It's been a little while since we've watched a film where I've kind of liked all the characters. I thought, they served their purpose, and I said, I just didn't like that doctor. Right. He was good. He was good at what he did. That's why I didn't. But he was just such a piece of crap,
Right. Well,
without being over the top.
It's not, which I like. Right. I agree. I'm kind of agree with you. This is not a great movie. It needs more, but it's really interesting. And it's like,
I like the story. I really did.
Yeah, the story's not bad. It just needs some more moments of pure horror or terror or something. And it's a lot of mind games and they have horror elements in it. It does come off a lot better than some of these movies that, like we've talked about, that try to lean on a really bad comic character. And it doesn't really do that. And it's got and let's not forget the other threat in the film, Glenn Strange. So it's completely unfocused. But again, I'm saying the unfocus in both films, we'll get to the next one here in a minute, but in both films, the unfocus almost enhances the movie because it keeps you off your toes. And there's really not one part that's enough to make it to the finish line, but you add them all together in the correct way, and it's almost the correct way. It's good enough to keep you going to the end and then be disappointed by the end. I mean, it's a good movie with a bit of a disappointing ending, but it doesn't make you feel pissed you watch the rest of it. Does that make sense?
No. Right. And it's funny. It's usually in these older films too, like you always had the old curmudgeon-y guys or whatever too. And Ralph Oz. Ralph Morgan. Yeah. He was like my favorite character in the film. And it was funny because he started out kind of, he was like, it's okay. His advances are right. He didn't really care. And then once things started going, he knew exactly what the doctor was about. He wasn't falling for it. He knew exactly what happened. And he went there and called him out on it too. And I was like, and I liked it. I just thought he was good in it. For me, he was like, I was like, yeah, he's a badass. He knows what you did. He don't care.
Right.
But still, it wasn't like, what happened to me? And then we had to go through him going to the hospital and they figure out what happened to him and all that. No, he was smart enough to know, which he should have been. You tricked me. You did this to me, and I know why you're doing this.
Well, that's so you're cool. Right. Yeah, and that's a pretty interesting little piece of the film where he's figuring out what's going on, and they keep sending him toward J. Carrol Naish, back toward J. Carrol Naish,
and he's like, I don't want to.
Yeah, you see him like figuring it out, and the characters are fairly intelligent as to what's going on around him. I mean, all of them kind of know. It's not someone being in a lot of these older movies. They do fall in that trap where there's a lot of there's at least one super naive.
His daughter was kind of naive,
a little bit, but
not at first. But towards like when she's like, "Oh, he's okay. My dad's there. Oh, you have a sanitarium there. I'll be right over."
right. Well, my point is,
no, he's a jerk. He did it to your dad.
Right, and that might a lot of times in these films, the girl will not dissuade the advances. A lot of time, the girl has to try to be convinced as well. This guy's bad. Well, she knows that. So and for a 1944 movie, and you have a woman women were not always treated as intellectual giants in these films. I think, and I'm saying how they're treated. I think that this was a little bit cool because she had her spider sense on. She knew this guy there's something wrong with him. So everybody kind of. More realistic. There were more three-dimensional characters, actually, a little bit, and they didn't overdo them to the point where you were overmired in their romance or them paying their bills or things like that. It was you just kind of caught along the way. Not a bad role. Look, for a Poverty Row movie, I don't know. To me, it was pretty well written, pretty well executed. Yeah, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I actually enjoyed that, Timo, quite a bit.
Yeah, so
I should say, believe it or not, I don't know why I keep saying that, but like, I was surprised, especially at the beginning of it, saying, "Good grief, how old is this film?" And then, but yeah, I just, I thought I was pleasantly surprised and actually enjoyed it a lot. I really did. Maybe a little more guerrilla, but that's okay. I actually liked how it petered out on him.
right.
It was funny because he deserted that doctor, man. And it doesn't happen to me all the time, but and I'm happy when it does. When I see a character, a bad guy, because I like the bad guys a lot,
right?
But when I see one that I don't like, and I'm like, that guy sucks, man. I love it. For me, it's good, man.
Right.
I need that more, and it might just be a certain type of person or whatever, but this guy had it for me.
Right.
So
he had it coming.
So I'm happy about that.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give it a great bape up. In your great bape up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, not quite to the rafters or anything, but a nice solid. I enjoyed it.
Right.
I did.
It was
good.
Yeah. And it's I don't even know if I have this movie, so I have it loaded up to purchase whenever I can go out in the street and beg for money and get another movie again. So, but ready to go. So good movie, good find. It is on Amazon Prime. Go ahead and check it out. It's only like an hour long. That's nice too.
Right,
like an hour and 2 minutes long or something like that. So go ahead and check it out.
It moves at a pretty good pace. It's not super slow.
Yeah,
it starts out just a little slow, but it goes pretty good.
So all right, let's get to our next official film, Mr. Ben Harley. This is from 1981. What is that?
Yeah,
what's
the best year in cinema.
That's right. This movie is
best
called
in history.
Yes, this movie is called Madhouse.
Yeah.
Madhouse from 1981, directed by, and I always do this guy's name different. We've talked about this gentleman before. The director here, it's Ovidio G. Now, last time it was Asinitis. This time it will be Asonitis, because I don't know how to pronounce his name. So he's Italian. How about that?
Good. Yeah.
Okay. So
Greek God.
Yes, the gentleman here. This will answer everything for you. The gentleman who is responsible for Tentacles did this film.
There you go.
So anyway, let me get you out. Yeah, let me get you out, movie guy, and give you a little short storyline synopsis for Madhouse.
Yeah.
Here we go. A woman is pursued by her murderous, psychopathic twin sister in the days leading up to their birthday. Okay, from 1981. I love movies from 1981. I always about that. I do not love movies made by Ovidio G. Asonitis.
Okay.
As I'm calling this time. I hate Tentacles. I'll watch every now and then. just to like talk, so I can have. It's almost like going to a tombstone. So I talk to Henry Fonda and say, "Why, Henry? Why are you in this film?" And he keeps going, "Well, damn it, it's a free trip to Italy." Got it. I got it. That's right. Keep reminding me though. And then I look over at Claude Atkins and go, "Why, Claude? Why?" You know, and he's like, "I want to hit on Shelley Winters again." Shelley, I know why you're here, Shelley. You're here for the food. So moving on from that, I got that. That was a good one. I shamed it. God rest your soul. There we go. But anyway, so Madhouse, yes, this one kind of got by me.
Me too. And I've heard of this, or maybe it's just, or it's another film or something else. But I was trying to remember what this like cover was or anything, like, because I know this, but I've never seen it. Never seen it.
So like the Monster Maker, you had multiple snaky characters in it, multiple people that, and this is the same thing. This is the same. I mean, it's the same kind of film, very like unfocused, and but this movie as well, I think, benefits from it. Okay, so this movie to me, it seems or it feels like exactly what it is. It's an Americanized giallo film. Yeah. Okay, made by American and by Italian people.
It feels very much like that.
Yes.
To me, it did.
Yes. And
I'm not even that in depth in that stuff, but it felt, for me, it did. I was like, "Ooh, it's really Italian."
Yeah, it's very obvious. All of a sudden, you'll see something like, "Woo, that looks like it came straight from Argento." And then you'll look at something else, and it'll look like an early 80s Carpenter thing. Yeah. So it really floats back and forth between both sensibilities of the American slasher film and the Italian giallo film, which are not that different from each other. They're basically the same thing. We just like to separate things with words and stuff. So this one has, there's a twin sister. What's words
got to do with it, Tim? Huh?
Right. So this one has like a twin sister who's deformed and she's nuts. Yeah. She can mind control a Rottweiler to destroy the planet. Basically, we've got an uncle. Pissed off dog. Right. We have a quote uncle priest guy who is so clearly off his rocker, even though he's a twist.
Never trusted him. Yeah.
He's so clearly off his rocker that there's he's a bit of something. He's kind of a twist kind of guy, but he's not totally. There's something else going on in this movie too that'll come to me at some point, but you don't even trust the main woman in the movie who the movie follows the other twin sister. So there's a twin sister who is deformed and crazy, and a twin sister who is, according to society, beautiful. I found her very unattractive, but I get what they were going through.
It's funny. I was laughing. Okay, this is mean. Because I like my Pamela Shoop, right? My girl.
She did look like her. Yeah, a little bit.
But like, I was like, that's Pamela Shoop's less chesty stunt double. That they just want to show from behind.
If you watch the Linda Carter Wonder Woman show like I do, you see her stunt double as much as her, and you know the difference immediately. Exactly. So there's the same difference. I'll go with that as well.
So because I love me some Pamela Shoop, but that girl is from Cleveland. She's a Cleveland, Ohio.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, so there's some weird thing with the birthday with the two twin sisters.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's some weird thing, and then like one of them hurt each other. So one of them's basically in an asylum and is locked away.
Jerk.
Yeah. And then the other one works at a school for the deaf.
Yeah.
Now that whole thing was not expected.
No, and I like that. Mm-hmm. I think they used it well in the film too.
They did. They made it interesting, and they made it creepy in a way sometimes too, in the correct way, the way you should.
Yes, exactly. And a couple of the scenes in the film were really well done with those children that were like real poignant. Mm-hmm. I thought that just and not just having them, just off to the side, but no, they were actually in scenes that were really good, like and
right.
Something happens to one of the children in her class too.
Right. Now I'm not real sure yet. And I've seen this movie now. This is, I believe, the third time I've seen it. And I saw it for the first time a few years ago. Like again, it took me a little bit by surprise because if I haven't seen anything, I'm usually thinking we're talking about the Matt Fox's quality of a film.
Yeah.
This is way, 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 way beyond that.
Yeah.
And It starts off with the Rockabye Baby, and it's supposed to be a creepy version of Rockabye Baby, and they're almost getting it, and he's like Rockabye Baby on the treetop, and when he does that, I go right into lounge singer mode. You know, and it kind of hurts it, and then he goes back to the Rockabye Baby, and you're thinking, this is the right idea, but they needed like a little girl singing this. Yeah. Makes sense?
Yeah, because when it starts out, you can just see the little girl with her dolly way in the background.
Right.
It's slowly coming in as that music's playing. But you're right. Because that was pretty intense. I'm like, whoa, that was way to start it out.
Yeah. And that was very Argento or Fulci or something like that. It starts off very Italian. And with that song going, now we all know that it's not a well-hid secret. Happy Birthday is copywritten. So in movies like this, you never get Happy Birthday, but you get other jingles like that. Yeah. You know, that somehow, he's a jolly good fellow. Anything else that is not Happy Birthday because it is copywritten, they couldn't do it. I can't remember what's the song the priest is singing later in the movie when he's acting silly. He's Pop Goes the Weasel or something like that.
Pop Goes the Weasel. Yeah.
So they're doing everything but that, trying to make it into like a kiddie weirdo show, or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead. I'll digress a little bit. So you get this, and you get the characters introduced to you. The other thing too is that I didn't like the mustache on the Harold Hansen pants.
Oh, okay? Tim, that was just right up your alley. That was.
That guy brushed every bit of salt off of a saltine before it got to his taste buds. I guarantee it. Okay, that thing could have walked on its own.
It could have walked on its own. That thing was serious.
No, I didn't like that, but that guy is a good actor. Whoever that guy was, he was a good like MacGuffin, or not a MacGuffin, but he was a good, not even a red herring. He was just a secondary character to get thrown in there. But he was
that was her boyfriend, right?
Yes, he's a good actor. Yeah. And that's the thing. Look, this movie does not have a star in it.
No.
Okay.
Not really.
But these are good actors. These are really strong actors. And it's when you look at a film like this that's made by a Italian filmmaker who has a tendency to churn out tentacles. But you just put more talent. You can't just throw a bunch of money at Henry Fonda and Claude Atkins and Shelley Winters, right? I mean, you can. Then Tentacles is clearly a bigger movie than this. But is it a better movie?
No.
Not even remotely close to it. This feels like it is in incapable hands.
Yeah.
But again, you have a Rottweiler, you have a crazy woman, and then you have an office rocker priest.
Yeah.
So you got things coming from every direction, and you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on here, and it is kind of confusing a little bit, but it doesn't deter from the gloom of the film.
No. Anyway. Because you're really it's kind of makes it edgy a little bit, because
very edgy.
The sister, I liked a lot of this film. The beginning I thought was pretty good. Too. Now the sister was a little, I liked her character, but she was a little Snidely Whiplash.
Well, she sounded dubbed a little bit. I don't know if she was. I mean, this is an Italian film, but what I'm saying more than that is that's the feel the performance was.
Too.
Yes. So
that might have been off-putting.
If she was dubbed, that would explain it. If she wasn't dubbed, it gives you that awkward feeling where it's not a great performance, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I felt.
And there was only a couple spots where she did it. Because I liked the thought of her, the character, the way she looked, the whole thing, and she was creepy, and with the dog and her sick of the dog, all that was great, and because there's even a part where the one sister, the sane sister, the pretty sister, what you kept calling her, Little Miss Perfect, whatever.
Yeah, well, she's definitely jealous because she's in a locked away, deformed with a mad psycho dog at her beck, and she's a beautiful, supposedly, not my type, but beautiful. Right. I mean, well, she deserved the mustache when you think about it. She deserved that guy's mustache. Yeah. So, but still, I think I'd rather be in her spot than her sister's spot. So yes, there was a lot of jealousy, and I think that priest guy was kind of feeding into that, or she was feeding that into him in a way too.
Yeah, well, he kept saying stuff like, well, she would make up stories about her sister, and she's like, well, no one would believe me, and then she did tell old Marty Mustache she told him that story.
Yeah.
That what her sister did, like, the dog had the dog get on the bed while she was under the covers, and if she would move, the dog would bite her, and like and so her sister, just terrified. She never knew if her sister was really going to kill her or what she was going to do.
Right.
And like no one would believe her,
Right.
So that was big hang up for her in the film. And I said, and that's what for me with her uncle, I was like, he's a jerk, man. He's supposed to be a priest, and he keeps like, she makes up stories. It's a pretty intense story to make up, man.
Right.
Like, some of these things, or to be that petrified of your sister.
Right.
Something's up. Something's afoot.
This movie is really, I think the reason that the Harold Hansen Pants guy kind of sticks out a little bit too, there's really only one person in this movie that isn't batshit crazy.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, even the main girl's got her hangups like you're just talking about.
Oh,
I mean, you weren't. I didn't trust her either. You weren't trusting her. You weren't.
Yeah.
And stuff. So, I gotta tell you something.
Can we mention the one blonde girl, her friend that was in this? Can we talk about her a little bit? No,
I've had a rough week, Mr. Ben Harley, and I did notice her a little bit, so I know I'm still kicking and ticking, right? I mean, yeah, she did have a Patricia Arquette.
I like my black hair beauties, I really do.
I know you do,
but I like my blondes a lot as well. But there's some certain ones that just knock my socks off, and she was
handsome.
She was fun, and I was mad when she died. I was sad. I wanted to turn the television on.
Did you go outside and shake your fist at the sky?
Yeah, you won, Khan. I said,
Khan. No. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, no, she was a looker. She was handsome, but
she was a good actor too. She was good. Like,
she wasn't too bad. She played it like the ditz role though. So
exactly.
Yeah,
like and not so over the top. Like she wasn't super dumb. Like somehow when they do that with some of these actors or actresses, they're like. But
I'm pretty sure though that I am pretty sure now he wasn't credited.
Yeah.
Okay, like in the credits, but I am pretty sure that Jim Henson did play the dog half the time.
Really?
He was a Muppet. Not even a puppet. He was a Muppet. Okay?
Yeah.
And it worked a little bit until it's like, quit hanging on it. Quit hanging on it. You can tell it's not a neck, it's a wrist. Stop it, Now, when Harold Hansen Pants trap the dog finds a way to bust through a door somehow. This head
sure did.
All right. Now, when Harold Hansen Pants puts a Rottweiler in a headlock, you're getting now that part pulled you straight out of this movie. So that was as Italian as red
drilled
sauce.
Into his head. He grabbed a drill and drilled into his head.
That was very Italian. That was where you shook yourself. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot the Italians were part of this too. We got to put their stamp on this movie.
Red sauce on your pants, right?
Yeah. But the parts that are awkward like that, it doesn't hurt this film. It makes it more interesting because it's bizarre. It's really bizarre, and but it's not you can't follow it. It's not like it's so bizarre that it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It's just crazy people that are damaged from years of being crazy, and then they all kind of come together at one point. And to me, it's in that same genre as like the was it Bloody Birthday? There's that movie with the three kids that were born under the eclipse or something, and then you have like Happy Birthday to Me. And movies like that. This is a similar kind of film.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
The thing is that this movie really took me by surprise. Given the director, given it's Italian and American. Now, just everything around it, it just doesn't look interesting.
Right.
It's not, I mean, there's nothing I'm looking at it that would make you think this is really anything more than a bad grindhouse throwaway movie. It's not. This was done really well. The cinematography is brilliant in it. Some of the shots in it are beautiful. It's shot wide. The lenses are really good. I mean, it is 81. I love that style that was popular then. And so this is really making good use of that. Maybe part of it, this is filmed in Savannah, Georgia, which is a very odd place to begin with.
Yeah.
My brother lived down there. He went to the Savannah School of Art and Design.
Arts. Okay.
Yeah. And it's a different kind of place, and
It's got a different feel to it.
It does, and that kind of adds to this a little bit too.
Yeah.
I think this is also a very cool movie. And I think the fact that the focus goes from the dog to the girl to the priest to the main girl, then the focus shifts over to the boyfriend, and everybody's kind of whack except for one person, basically, which is the throwaway character.
Cute blonde.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, I keep believe it or not, I keep forgetting about it here. I keep thinking about that damn mustache. We got issues here, Mr. Ben.
Well, you know what, Timo, in your defense, yes, you guys have issues, and that mustache was very
overpowering.
Overpowering.
It's overpowering, man. You know, it's like, I know she's hot, Harley, but you gotta wait for me. I gotta handle the stash. I gotta get rid of this first. You know, I can't have both in my life at the same time. It doesn't work. You know. But but this is a big great bape up. I mean, it's as strong, if not stronger, than the Monster Maker. Actually, it is stronger. It's a better movie.
Yeah.
It's a really good, solid slasher giallo horror film. It has touches of paranormal in it with the psychic abilities of some of the folks and things. I mean, so it's got a little bit of everything, and it works somehow. Somehow it works.
It
does.
It does, Timo. It's funny because there's some awkward situations in the film for me that and I sometimes it makes me cringe. I go, is this going to take me out of the film? But it had a couple of those, but all the other stuff, all the real good stuff, way outweighed anything that made me feel, like or cringe a little.
Right.
There's too much good going on in this movie. Now, like you got with the dog, the sister, there's so many different bad guys that you think there could be. But it like you were saying, though, it does work, but I don't know. It was kind of fun. In a way.
Yes, because I feel like it's a little drawn. It feels a little long. It's not a long film. It's like 93 minutes, so it isn't long, but it feels long because I think it's pulling more out of you than you expect.
Right,
more story, more drama, and more suspense than you suspect it's going to. So you get a little fatigued because you're not ready for it. You're not sitting there going, all right, I know I'm watching something that's fairly intense. You're thinking, I'm going to watch a stupid movie. And it's not.
Yeah.
So you get suckered and you're watching it. Yeah. But the other thing that kind of counteracts how that fatigue feel, the priest guy, the uncle priest or whatever, is hilarious. I mean, he's awesome at going bonkers, and he is hilarious the way that Freddy Krueger wishes he was.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
At first, a little before he went to. No, you're right, though. The ending, I was kind of like, is this going to fatigue me?
Yeah, it was getting there.
And it was funny because I was finishing up when he's like, how much you got left on that movie? And I said, well, the bad guys are kind of doing their little talk, so not too much longer. They're doing their little speech at the end.
Right.
And I said, I thought he knocked it out of the park without being too much, because there was a lot of talking going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of story. Yeah.
And he put a lot into that last little bit, and it's good.
Right.
And it still works. And I just this was another really good surprise for me. Like, and it hasn't happened in a while, and I'm thankful when these times happen because it gives me. It's the reason I like movies. You know what I mean? Because I like to be surprised and entertained. I like to be entertained first and foremost, but a nice surprise is good too. You know, when you come across something, you're like, this is awesome. And now this was a little bit of a stretch, but I'm a Chainsaw Massacre 2 fan. I've been doing a lot of Chainsaw Massacre stuff here lately. It's been on my mind. Me and Leatherface went to lunch the other day.
There you go.
But I thought there was parts in this too that had a little flavor of part 2. And it was mostly at the end in the creepy house. Like it had that feel of like the candles and lights and creepy things strewn about. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was kind of cool for me too. You know, it had a lot of little elements of film that I liked. Now it had some that I didn't, that I thought was over the top, but that's me. That's just me being squeamish anymore and being a little bit of Betsy Wetsy schoolgirl. Other than that,
Right.
I don't need the blood and guts as much as I need the straight up terror or whatever, So or spookiness, whatever.
Right,
So we know
right.
this. We know this. We've been through this. So
Sure.
but I enjoyed this, Tim. It was a pleasant surprise. So
Yeah, it was
great
good.
vape up from me, my man.
Yeah, great vape up here too.
Big one, a big one.
I'm
Nice-
going to give it a big
one.
one too. I think it's a good movie. I'm surprised
I was
by it.
surprised.
Kudos to the actors and I guess I got to give it up to Video Asanitis.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a good job here. I mean, he didn't.
Yeah.
And I like the weird Italian parts. I like the
too.
bizarre
Yeah.
like Argento and
That-
Fulci like moments that pop up. You're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What did you
yeah.
do? What's wrong with the face? Is that real or not?
Yeah.
You don't even know. And it's like, so I appreciate them, and they enhance the film, and the little idiosyncrasies enhance it. And Monster Maker, I'll give it that as well. The other movie, and it was interesting how these movies were made 40 years apart from each other, but had the same things going for them. Sometimes these things don't go for movies. So
No.
two great vapes up.
Can we call this pleasantly surprised week?
We could call it that. So from 81. Now apparently the original title for Madhouse was There Was a Little Girl. That still doesn't. It still doesn't ring a bell for me. It still doesn't.
No, me either. But that sounds better than Madhouse because this.
It does, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
There really wasn't a madhouse in this. Well, it was a house,
the end
but it was
where they were
mad
stuck
back in the day. Yeah, But
Yeah. I get you. I feel you. I mean, I mean,
sisters.
Yes,
well, there was sisters, right?
There was. So there was more than one
yeah.
little girl too. So you can kind of go either way. There was. I think it's
what?
It's like
They're
the
not
movie.
going to change it for us, Tim. Right?
Well-
they're not going to change it.
Well, let's talk about the movie Superstition that we did
Yeah.
not too long ago. That's a bad title too, and
Yeah.
it's a pretty good movie. It was a fun little movie. This
Yeah.
is much better than that, but it's not a good title, but it's a good movie.
No, it's not.
So, but look it up, folks. It's called Madhouse from 81. I'm not sure if it's on Prime or anything. I don't know. I've got it on Blu-ray. So and everything.
You sent it to me. And that's what I had
Yeah, but
watched it. It looks
look
great.
it up. It's a great movie. Look it up. It's a lot of fun. Monster Maker is on Prime right now, video. So if you want to watch that, that's a fun little thing to pass time. Good times.
Yeah.
Really cool makeup. Really, really kind of cool makeup in that movie too.
John Merrick. Sorry.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and I still keep thinking. I still keep thinking about the basket case movies, the sequels where there's like a bunch of basket case monsters, and then Nightbreed, which is very similar.
Nightbreed, yeah.
Nightbreed. So it looks a little bit like that. But let's get out of here, Mr. Ben Hurley. Not sure what we're doing next week. We will update you.
Riveting.
We'll update you on everything. And
Yes. God bless.
And we will get 1 week, hopefully closer to getting to Retro Evasion in weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
That's
outside
right.
of Cleveland. So until then, Mr. Ben Harley, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.